Shawn Mahaffey, the 2019 A-Class and non-wing champion. Shawn, dude, what a pleasure. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Dude, so let's just dive right in here. You come from restrictors, your first season in A-Class and non-wing.
Yeah.
And you double down and you win both championships. What a year.
I mean, yeah, just a lot of consistency. I mean, it was my first year, so I just trying to, like, keep my top fives up. I mean, it was hard to get wins starting in the back with the format, but, I mean, it was still a lot of fun. I'm just happy to get both and Rookie of the Year. I mean, it was definitely good exposure at the PRI banquet and stuff. That's the main reason we wanted to run it, so just can't thank everyone enough.
So throughout the season, you're going through, you're a brand new kid in the A-Class and non-wing. You're racing against some of the top competitors in the country here at Port City. What's going through your mind on a weekly basis of having to start in the back with Frank Flood or Chris Andrews and Jeffrey Newell and all those guys? What's going through your mind and your thought process whenever you're starting the feature that far back?
I mean, really just trying to avoid, like, all the wrecks and stuff. That's the main thought process. And then once you do get to the front, it is worrying about, like, you know, you want to win, so you got to beat Frank, you got to beat the Robs. I mean, that's kind of your main thought process.
Before you came into A-Class and non-wing, you were a restrictor.
Yeah.
And your last season in restrictor was a pretty phenomenal season.
Yeah.
I mean, you won a bunch of races. What made you want to make the change? Was it you wanting to make the change, your dad wanting to make the change?
I mean, I guess it's just my age, really. I mean, I think I was like 13, 14 at the time, and I really wanted to get going, you know, get more exposure in the A-Class and non-wing deal. And I knew it was time, you know. You win all those races, and then it's just time to jump up because, I mean, you've proven – I just want to prove myself and then eventually go to A-Class and non-wing and prove myself there. So I'm just – that's my main focus.
Do you feel like you've proven yourself in the A-Class and non-wing deal, or do you still feel like there may be a little bit more that you can do to show that you're a contender? You're a contender, you know, whenever guys think of people here at Port, you're in the mention of the names.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more that I feel like I need to prove, but I mean, just, you know, first starting out, just trying to beat the main guys that win here all the time. I mean, I like Port's new format this year where it's not points average. You can start. They invert like the top 6 highest in points. I really like the format, so it's helped me out a lot. We won one a few weeks ago, and we had some pretty heavy hitters here, so that was definitely good. I mean, just I knew the wins will start coming because, I mean, we're able to start up front this year. Last year it was real hard to get the wins because I would probably start 16th on back. So, I mean, just really thankful that they switched the format up.
It kind of helps those other drivers too. You hear a lot of things from time to time that passing points is worse than points average, and you hear the attitudes of both.
Yeah.
But like you said, you like it because it gives you a chance to start further up to the front.
Yeah, I mean, you see like all the other formats like World Outlaws, they do qualifying, and then USAC has kind of a weird format, but it's kind of all like passing points. I mean, that's kind of what you got to do to be good, and you got to learn how to pass cars. And yeah, last year's format, just like you'd pass the cars and get in the feature, and you could go 9th to 2nd, and if you were like high up in the points, you'd have to start way in the back. So it kind of hurt me there, but I feel like this year that's definitely what's helped me out a lot. And then that and just getting the program down and getting the feel of the car a lot better.
Whenever you go into a heat race now, passing points, the name of the game, what are you focused on? I mean, you get 8 laps in a heat race. Are you focused on the first 4 laps, figuring out where everybody's going to be at? Are you a run-and-gun type of guy that once that green flag flies, I've got to get to the front?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to
What's your mindset whenever you go into a heat race?
You just got to kind of get on the gas and just kind of get to the top shelf. I mean, everyone kind of bottles down on the bottom, and if you can make the top work in the heat races, you'll definitely be quick. I mean, it's always good to start on the outside, or if you do start on the inside, just try to roll the bottom and get to the front as quick as possible. I mean, that's what it's all about.
So we rewind now to 2018, your final year in the restrictors.
Yeah.
You ran a lot of races with the Lucas Oil National Open Wheel 600 Series. You ran the Speed Week, and you won a bunch of races in that deal.
Yeah.
You pick up a Golden Driller. What has been like your number one claim to fame, so to speak? I mean, are you thinking the Golden Driller has kind of set you up, or is it the fact that you did win 2 championships your first year in A-Class and non-wing?
I mean, the Driller just kind of – that's the best you can get in micros. And, I was just pumped to do that. I mean, I went in there and I really wasn't thinking that we'd had the best shot at winning it, even though we were really fast. Because when it comes shootout time, I mean, you have guys from California all over that just really they can most of the time be better than you. And if you're able to beat those guys, I mean, you've done something. So it's definitely probably the shootout. I mean, the USAC championships were really good for me because, like I said, the PRI banquet or the USAC banquet, and then they had the PRI show. And that was definitely really good to be in front of all those big guys, that's for sure.
So now that you've got these 2 championships, all right, you get the shootout win. You win all those races, those Speed Week races. You come into 2019. You get the opportunity now to drive for a different car owner. It's not just the family-owned car. You're getting to run for Jerry McGinnis Racing, Chad Lair turning the wrenches on it. What has that experience been like for you, working with someone other than your dad on crew chiefing the car and maintaining the car? And I know you go help out every chance you get, but what has that been like? I
mean, it's awesome, really. Jerry gave me the opportunity. They picked me up right before the shootout. I think it was like 3 races before we won the shootout, and they've definitely just been great people to work with. I mean, Jerry's an awesome guy. He's really nice, and he definitely helped me out a lot, getting more aggressive in the car and just getting to the front. And they gave me a really good shot and some good equipment, I mean, it was probably better than mine at the time, and Chad really works hard on it, and he puts in all his time and effort, and he turns some good wrenches, and I feel like we have we've made a pretty good team together. And me, him, and Chris now are just kind of us 3, and Jerry, he hasn't stepped aside, but he's not at the track every weekend now, so it's kind of up to Chad a lot. So it's been hard trying to figure out like a new setup and stuff, but we're going down to Indiana. I'm pretty confident in us right now.
So like you said, you guys have kind of gelled together as a team now. Chris Carroll coming into the picture. Chris ran the Outlaw car last year. Now it's all just non-wing in the Jerry McGinnis Racing stable. And now you guys are gelling and forming a team that is able to bounce things off of each other.
Yeah.
And now you're going to expand out after winning the championship last year. Now you're going to do a little bit of traveling. Do you feel like whenever you start to travel and go to these bigger races that you've got to prove yourself to these bigger teams and these teams that are outside the state?
I mean, yeah, that just kind of all started with the USAC show they had here that Brady Bacon put on. I mean, I knew going into that deal, I mean, I was going to have to prove myself somewhere. And I think Friday night we got podium against McDougal and Frank, and that was real good. And that's kind of where I got my midget ride from. I got a midget ride out of that deal. And it all starts when you're in front of those guys. You got to prove yourself in front of the USAC people, and then when you travel, I mean, you're in front of all different eyes, people that don't usually come down to the Midwest. I mean, just all the out-of-towners.
So you said you make mention of that midget ride. Let's talk about that a little bit. You get the opportunity to drive for J Mounts and Mounts Motorsports and the whole crew there on that team. Do a lot of great things. What was that experience like for you? You went down to I-44 and ran, and I know you had some brake problems, but then you came to port on Sunday, came home, and you put on quite a show. I mean, you did a pretty fantastic job for only being, your 3rd, 4th time in the car?
I mean, great people for sure. I just can't thank them enough for the opportunity. I mean, really nice people. I'm glad I was able to work with them for those certain amount of races. And that deal was pretty nerve-wracking, just first time in a midget. I was pretty nervous because that's all I wanted to do is prove myself. And it was hard for sure, just kind of felt like I was getting thrown to the wolves. But it was definitely, I mean, the midget just really helped me out a lot, and it was a great opportunity. I can't wait for the next one.
So now it's all about opportunities and kind of throwing your name out there. What's the plan for the rest of 2020? I mean, is it traveling as much as possible, trying to pick up some midget races? What's the plan as of right now?
Oh, I mean, I just hope that we can win a lot of micro races, and at least my goal is just to do that and then hopefully get in front of some more eyes and get some more opportunities, whether it be a sprint car, midget, or whatever. I mean, anything really be good for me. That's all my goal is, to just drive for people. That's all I want to do.
Keep on racing, keep on winning, and challenging people. Who helps you guys along the way? I know your dad does a lot, your mom helps a lot, but who are some of the folks that help you not only on the family-owned 11K, but on the Jerry McGinnis 3S?
Oh, Mercer Valve for sure, Sawyer Chassis. I mean, all the people at Sawyer are really good. I mean, I have some people behind the scenes, like KJ Snow's definitely helped me a lot through the learning process, and he's taught me a lot, you know. And then Dean Franklin has helped me out a lot too on my 11K car, and just really there's a few people behind the scenes. Chris Carroll's helped me a lot, just learning and getting used to the bigger car, or just A-Class and non-wing. I mean, so those people have helped me out probably the most.
For people that don't know Shawn Mahaffey, how would you describe Shawn Mahaffey's racing style and his overall, how he approaches things?
I just try to take care of equipment, but at the same time be super aggressive and just try to win races. That's my main goal. I mean, I just try to drive like an animal and be the best I can.
Drive like an animal, be the best he can. That's Shawn Mahaffey. You can see him in the 11K and A-Class and 3S in the non-wing division. Be sure to watch out for him. And thanks for watching the Performance Electronics Intermission Show.
Introducing the Performance Electronics Wideband O2 sensor with Bluetooth. With just 3 wires, installation couldn't be easier. Quickly connect your smartphone to our simple app to monitor your engine's air-fuel ratio in real time without gauges. The PE Wideband O2 sensor is just one of many Performance Electronics products that can add brains and brawn to your next high-performance project. Find them all at pe-ltd.com.